welcome rare gems. The quietest women often carry the loudest truths. In a world where everyone is trying to be seen, heard, and liked, the Sigma female moves differently. She's not trying to fit in or stand out. She simply is. No labels, no noise, just presence. She's the woman who isn't chasing spotlight, but still manages to turn heads and shift energy the moment she enters a room. This checklist isn't about ego, perfection, or putting on a show. It's about self-awareness, the raw kind, the kind that stings a little before it sets you free. Being a Sigma female isn't something you force, it's something you uncover. You don't need anyone's permission to be her, but you do need the courage to walk alone, think differently, and protect your peace like it's sacred. This isn't a sugar-coated pep talk. It's for the women who've been told they're too quiet, too intense, too picky, too distant, and turned all of that into power. You may not have known there was a name for it. Now you do. So if you've ever felt like you didn't belong anywhere, maybe it's because you were never meant to. You're here to build your own lane. This video is your mirror. Not to show you who to become, but to remind you who you already are. Watch until the end. You might be surprised how many of these traits you've been living with all along, silently, powerfully, and unapologetically. Number 1. You've stopped romanticizing potential. Let's get one thing straight. Sigma females have stopped romanticizing potential. They're not here to babysit grown men, patch up broken friendships, or pour their energy into people who don't even want to help themselves. They've learned, sometimes the hard way, that seeing potential in someone is not enough to build a real connection, friendship, or relationship. Don't get it twisted, though. Sigma females do recognize potential. In fact, they spot it faster than most. They know greatness when they see it. They know when someone's got the spark. But they also know the brutal truth. You can only take a horse to the stream. You can't force it to drink. Helping someone reach their best self is only possible if they want it too. If someone's not willing to do the work, no amount of encouragement, loyalty, or love will save them. And Sigma women, they no longer waste time dragging dead weight. They're not heartless. They're clear-headed. They'll cheer for you. They'll offer wisdom. They'll stand by you if you're moving. But if you're standing still, making excuses, or waiting for them to fix your life for you, don't hold your breath. A Sigma female has learned that her energy is currency, not charity. She invests it wisely. She chooses people who choose themselves first. She builds with those who are ready to build. Not with those who are still stuck fantasizing about someday. This mindset isn't cold, it's necessary. It's how you protect your future. It's how you make sure your greatness doesn't get tied up in someone else's laziness or fear. You're not here to carry people. You're here to connect with those who are ready to carry their own weight. If you've ever found yourself exhausted trying to fix people who didn't want to be fixed, this is your wake-up call. Your wisdom, your support, your energy. Save it for the ones who are already fighting for themselves. Number 2. You don't glow differently. You disrupt quietly. Let's be honest. Sigma women aren't walking around trying to shine or be the center of attention. You're not putting on a show. You don't need to. Your presence speaks before you even open your mouth. And here's the truth most people won't say out loud. Your energy doesn't attract everyone, and it's not supposed to. You don't fit into every room. You don't make everyone comfortable. You disturb the insecure, the ones who fake confidence, who survive off validation, who don't know who they are without a crowd telling them. Your calm makes them nervous. Your silence feels heavy to them, because it holds a mirror up to their noise. But on the flip side, you inspire the authentic. You're like a green light to the real ones. When they see you standing firm in who you are, unapologetic, whole, and self-sourced, it wakes something up in them. It reminds them it's possible to be powerful without being loud, to be strong without begging for attention. You're not here to make everyone like you. You're not a performer. You're a force. And the ones who get it, get it. The ones who don't, well, they were never supposed to sit at your table anyway. This quiet disruption you cause, it's your signature. It's what separates you from the noise. It's why some people leave the room when you enter, and others straighten their backs and rise higher. You don't have to dim your energy for the world to feel comfortable. Let them adjust, or let them leave. Either way, you stay exactly who you are. If you're feeling this deep down, trust me, you're already living it. Number 3. You're the black hole of social expectations. Everything gets sucked in and nothing comes out. People throw expectations at you all the time. Be sweeter, be louder, be more agreeable, settle down, play it safe, tone it down, chase this, wear that, want this, fake that. You hear it all. You feel the pressure. It's real. It's heavy. And yet, you don't move. You absorb all of it, but you never let it shape you. You don't snap under it. You don't fold yourself into something smaller just to make other people comfortable. You just keep being you, quietly, relentlessly, unshakably. That's the thing people don't understand about Sigma females. You're not rebellious in a loud, reckless way. You're not running around announcing, "I don't care what anyone thinks." You just live it. You hear the noise. You feel the expectations. You recognize the pressure. And still, you choose yourself every single time, without apology, without announcement, without a need for approval. And that's why you're different. That's why you're rare. Because while everyone else is busy reacting, adjusting, shrinking, stretching, you're just standing there, centered, absorbing it all, but giving nothing back. No explanations, no excuses, no compromises. You don't reject society's standards out of spite. You just don't allow them to reprogram you. You refuse to hand over your identity just because it would make life easier. You're the black hole. Everything the world expects gets pulled into you, and it disappears. But you stay intact, untouched, undiluted, unrepeatable. If you feel this in your bones, you're not alone. Sigma women move differently because they were built differently. Number 4. You've been underestimated so often it became your strategy. At first it stung, didn't it? People looked at you and thought they had you figured out. Too quiet, too soft, too nice. They thought you were easy to overlook, easy to control, easy to beat. What they didn't realize is you were watching, you were learning, you were calculating. Your silence was never submission, it was recon. While they were busy underestimating you, you were busy reading the room, clocking motives, studying weaknesses, and building your next move in silence. Sigma females don't need to announce their intentions. They don't waste time arguing for respect. They let people show their hand, and then they play theirs, sharper and stronger. You learned early on that silence is your greatest weapon. Because when people don't see you coming, they can't stop you. When they think you're harmless, they don't guard themselves. And that's when you get everything you need to win without even breaking a sweat. You're not loud because you don't have to be. You don't broadcast your power. You apply it, strategically, precisely, unapologetically. Being underestimated taught you something priceless. Power moves best in silence, and victory tastes sweeter when nobody even knew you were in the game until it was already over. So the next time someone looks at you and sees weakness, smile to yourself. They just volunteered to be your next silent lesson. Embrace your Sigma life. Because if you're that woman, the one who's been quietly stacking wins while the world slept on you, you're about to understand just how lethal your true power really is. Number 5. You have a zero-tolerance policy for performative independence. You know the type. The ones who shout about being strong just to cover up how much they still crave approval. The ones who post 1,000 quotes about self-love, but fall apart the second they feel unseen or unsupported. The world is noisy with people performing strength, louder, flashier, emptier. But you don't perform it, you live it. Quietly, consistently, unshakably. You're not out here trying to prove a point. You're not broadcasting your every move, needing the world to clap for you just because you handled your own business. Handling your business is normal for you. It's not a stunt, it's your standard. Real strength doesn't have to announce itself, it's felt. It's in how you hold yourself together on the bad days. It's in how you make tough decisions without waiting for permission. It's in how you know when to walk away, when to stay silent, when to rise, and when to let things burn without losing yourself in the fire. You don't fake self-sufficiency for the gram. You are self-sufficient in the parts of life nobody claps for. In the late nights, in the hard conversations, in the lonely climbs when no one's watching and no one's handing you a trophy. You're not here to look strong. You are strong, bone deep, spirit strong, the kind of strength you can't filter, stage, or fake. And because you know your own strength so intimately, you have no patience for people who only wear it like a costume. You move differently because you are different. And that's your edge. That's your advantage. That's why you win. If this resonates with you, you're not just walking the Sigma path, you own it. Number 6. Your peace is your currency, and most people can't afford your presence. You've reached a point in your life where peace isn't a luxury, it's non-negotiable. You've worked too hard, been through too much, healed too deeply to let chaos rent space in your world. So now, you measure people differently, not by how funny they are, not by how attractive, charming, or loyal they say they are. You measure them by one simple question. Do they protect your peace or cost you clarity? Because if being around them feels like mental static, if you're constantly second-guessing, overthinking, explaining yourself, or recovering after every conversation, then no matter who they are, they can't stay. You don't care how long you've known them. You don't care what they've done for you in the past. You don't even care if they love you, because love without respect is just noise. Your energy is expensive now. You've stopped loaning it to people who drain you. You've stopped explaining your boundaries to people who never respected them in the first place. You know your value, and you know that the right people won't make you feel guilty for choosing yourself. They won't turn your peace into a problem. This isn't cold. It's clarity. This isn't arrogance. It's alignment. You've earned your peace. You protect it. You prioritize it. And if someone doesn't know how to treat it with care, they don't get access. Simple. Keep being yourself. And if you're tired of being pulled in a million directions, this is your sign to come back home to yourself. And never let anyone price you below your worth again. Number 7. You've mastered solitude without slipping into loneliness. That's a rare skill. Most people fear being alone. They treat solitude like a punishment, something to escape with noise, distractions, or company that doesn't even serve them. But not you. You've turned solitude into strength. You're not sitting around waiting for someone to fill the silence. You own the silence. You thrive in it. Your internal world, it's not some dusty, empty waiting room hoping someone walks in to give it meaning. It's a fully stocked sanctuary. There's peace in there, creativity, depth, reflection. You've built a space inside yourself that's so rich, so alive, that even your alone time feels like luxury. You read, you journal, you think. You check in with yourself. You process things. You know your triggers, your patterns, your desires. You're not just passing time. You're growing in it. That's why people can't throw you off balance the way they used to. You're not out here looking for someone to complete you. You're already whole. You don't chase company just to avoid being with yourself, because you actually like who you are when no one's watching. This is next-level self-respect. This is what makes you magnetic. People can feel when someone is at peace with themselves. It's rare. It's powerful. It's why your presence is so grounding. You don't need constant noise to feel alive. You don't fear the quiet. You are the quiet and the calm and the storm all in one. If you've ever wondered why people sense something different about you without even knowing why, this is it. This kind of solitude. It's not loneliness, it's leadership. And you, whether you realize it yet or not, are already leading a life most people are still trying to find the words for. Number 8. You reject girl boss culture because it smells like repackaged approval-seeking. All the slogans, all the hustle posts, all the "look at me, I'm powerful" performances, it doesn't move you. Because deep down you know the truth. A lot of that noise isn't about real power. It's about validation. It's about being seen, being clapped for, being crowned. But you're not chasing crowns or applause. You don't want power to impress people. You want power to free yourself. You don't want to be the boss just to say you're the boss. You don't need a shiny title, a curated feed, or a round of applause to know you're winning. You measure success differently. Freedom, autonomy, peace, movement on your terms. While everyone else is scrambling for the spotlight, you're quietly building a life you don't need a vacation from. You're not performing strength. You're living it behind the scenes. No hashtags needed. No staged photo shoots. Just real moves, real wins, real sovereignty. You understand something they don't. Real power doesn't scream, it just is. It's quiet confidence, it's boundaries without drama. It's walking away without announcing it. It's choosing your peace over your ego. You don't need everyone to know you're doing it. You're too busy actually doing it. And that's what makes you dangerous in the best way possible. When you stopped needing outside validation, you became unstoppable. When you stopped performing for the crowd, you started moving for yourself. And the best part? You don't owe anyone an explanation for it. If you're tired of being told what power should look like, it's time to redefine it for yourself and live it unapologetically. Number 9. You've been called intimidating more times than beautiful, and you prefer it that way. Because let's be real, beautiful is everywhere. It's filtered, it's rehearsed, it's expected, but intimidating. That means something real in a world built on surface-level compliments and fragile egos. They don't call you intimidating because you're rude. They say it because your presence shakes the room. Because you walk with purpose, speak with clarity, and make no effort to shrink yourself to make others feel comfortable. You're not selling softness just to be accepted. You're not playing dumb to keep the peace. You've chosen to be the woman who challenges, not coddles. Intellect and intensity are your aesthetic. You crave depth over drama, conversation over compliments, substance over spotlight. You'd rather be the woman who makes people sit up straighter than one who just turns heads. Because you know beauty fades, but depth, that lasts, that earns respect, that shakes souls, that leaves a mark. People mistake your quiet for coldness, your directness for arrogance, your confidence for threat. But that's not your problem to fix. That's their fear meeting your fire, and realizing they can't control it. You've been underestimated, mislabeled, misread, and still you rise, not louder, just sharper. Not for attention, but for impact. You don't need to be everyone's type. You weren't made to be easily digested. You were made to be felt, remembered, and sometimes, yes, feared a little. So let them call you intimidating. Let them try to shrink what they don't understand. Because if they can't handle your fire, they were never meant to sit at your table. If you're done dimming your power just to be palatable, this is your sign to keep showing up, intelligent, intense, and unapologetically you. Number 10. You can hold your own in a room full of wolves without ever becoming one. You've been in those rooms, surrounded by loud voices, egos clashing, power struggles, and games people play to prove who's top dog. But you don't need to raise your voice, show your teeth, or put on a show to be heard. You know your worth, and it doesn't need anyone's validation to stand strong. You don't need to dominate, you just don't kneel. That's the difference. While others are barking for attention, competing for scraps, or trying to claw their way to the top, you're standing tall with quiet confidence, untouched by their noise. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You're not looking for a crown, but you sure as hell won't settle for being anyone's doormat. You've learned the art of standing your ground without being a threat. It's not about controlling the room, it's about owning your space. Your power is in your poise, your strength is in your silence. You don't have to become the wolf to survive the pack. You just need to remember who you are, no matter who's around. This is your secret. You don't compete, you exist. You show up as yourself, authentically, unapologetically, and people either respect that or they don't. But you don't bend for anyone. You don't shrink. You don't silence yourself just to fit into their world. You carve out your own space and let them come to you if they want to. And when they do, you'll still be standing tall. No need to play the game because you already know the rules. If you've ever felt out of place in a room full of loud egos, it's time you realized your power doesn't need to roar to be respected. Sometimes the quietest presence is the most powerful. Number 11. You've learned to let your standards be called too much and still refuse to shrink. People love to box you in. They love to tell you what you should accept, what you should tolerate, what's realistic. But here's the thing. You've stopped listening to them. You've stopped adjusting yourself to fit into the neat little boxes they want to place you in. If your standards make others uncomfortable, that's their issue, not yours. You don't care if they call you demanding, unrealistic, or high maintenance. You know what you're worth. You know what you deserve. And you've learned that shrinking to make someone else feel better is a form of self-betrayal. You've stopped playing small just to fit into their narrow version of what's acceptable. You'd rather have fewer real connections than force relationships that require you to lower your standards. You're not here for mediocrity. You're here for authenticity. You're here for respect. You're here for the type of love and friendships that make you feel elevated, not diminished. You'd rather be alone than in company that requires self-abandonment. You know that feeling when you're surrounded by people but still feel completely empty. It's the worst, and you've had enough of it. You know that being alone doesn't mean being lonely, it means peace. You've discovered that solitude can be a gift, a space where you get to reconnect with yourself, recharge, and protect your energy. Being around people who ask you to compromise your core values, your peace, or your dignity just to fit in, not worth it. You'd rather spend time with yourself, build your own empire, and cultivate your peace than wear a fake smile for people who don't see you for who you really are. The truth? You're not afraid of being alone. You're afraid of losing yourself in someone else's version of you. Learn why standing firm in your standards is the most powerful thing you can do for yourself. Conclusion. Sigma females. Checklist. How many do you have? Here's the truth. Being a Sigma female isn't about checking boxes or playing a role. It's not about fitting into another label or chasing some picture-perfect version of strength. It's about the way you move through the world. Steady, deliberate, true to yourself even when nobody's clapping. It's about choosing depth over drama, solitude over shallow company, standards over desperation. It's about being the kind of woman who doesn't just survive chaos. She rises above it without losing her softness, without losing her mind, and without losing herself. You're not here to be easily understood by everyone. You're not here to be small so others can be comfortable. You're here to build a life so aligned with who you are that anything fake, forced, or flimsy simply can't survive around you. That's power. Not loud, not boastful, quiet, unshakable, real. If you recognized yourself in even a few of these points today, trust me, you're on the right path. And if you didn't, good. Growth starts with awareness, not perfection. No one hands you the Sigma mindset. You become it, day by day, choice by choice. So stop watering yourself down. Stop apologizing for being a little too much for the wrong people. Stop hiding your intensity, your wisdom, your quiet rebellion. The world doesn't need more followers. It needs more women who are unbothered, unstoppable, and unafraid to stand alone if that's what it takes. Women like you. So now the real question isn't how many traits do you have? It's how far are you willing to go to honor the woman you're meant to be? Thank you for watching the rare gems, and God bless you.